Hey y'all, it's Ursa C, and oh boy, fourth video on my channel, and we're already getting into a debate. I think this is the fourth video anyways. I haven't checked. I don't know. A couple of disclaimers before we get into the meat and potatoes here. I will put a timestamp either in the description or on the screen, so you can just skip ahead if you don't want to hear these. First of all, I'm reading off of a script, so sorry if I stutter a lot. I'm not good at reading out loud. I mean, I can read just fine, but not out loud. I don't know. Second of all, I forgot what else I was gonna say. So, yeah, basically just one disclaimer. Oh yeah, slight trigger warning, I might get into some sensitive topics here, so, yeah, you know, but anyways, regardless, I hope you enjoy the video, and with that, let's get into this topic. Woo! I don't know. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard of the whole Nora the Wolf thing that's been going around. And while I was in the shower thinking about that messy situation, the whole Onision thing, COPPA, and other stuff, it led me to the question of, should kids really be on the internet? And by kids, I don't just mean kids that are toddlers through 12-year-olds, because that's an obvious no. I mean teenagers up to 16. Now, I know this question sounds a bit silly coming from me, since I myself am a kid on the internet. But the more I think about it, the more confusing it gets. The internet is an extremely scary place, and I never realized how scary it really is until just about a year ago when a certain challenge started up. Just thinking about it is making me tense up. I'm not going to say the name of the challenge because just having somebody mention it makes me flinch, but I'm running out of breath. Let me just say, it scarred me for life. I can hardly sleep at night because I think of her face and her eyes and the thought that children could have possibly died because of her. Many of you don't know what Let me re-say that. I'm sorry. Many of you might know what I'm referring to, but those of you who don't, well, basically, oh boy, there would be these YouTube videos online targeted towards children. But then in some part of the video, a scary face would be edited in to try to scare kids into harming themselves. At least, that's the gist of it. Now, I've heard many times that this was never an actual thing that happened, but it still deeply disturbs me to think that it totally could have happened. I never considered the fact that this was possible, but once that whole thing showed up, my views on the internet changed. So not only could kids be terrified into harming themselves because they don't know any better, but there's also situations like with Nora the Wolf. Since this is a more recent issue, it might sound a bit more familiar, but in case you haven't heard of him, Nora, as he calls himself, is a man in his 20s pretending to be a 14-year-old girl online. He's a total creep who pressures children into doing lewd things, and many people have compared him to Cristali, who's under house arrest, I think. From what I've heard, he's doxed and sexually messaged minors, and have asked them for a lot of personal information, such as their full name and location and other stuff. As I stated before, a lot of children, even myself at times, are too young to really know any better, which concerns me even more. Then they get put in situations where their security and mental health are threatened due to online bullying or other generally nasty stuff like that, and they can't really do anything about it because they're kids. What's even worse is, a lot of them are too afraid to tell their parents about what's happening. And so then they're pressured with the burden of whatever's going on online, and the burden of having to keep something from their parents. The situation just spirals downwards from there. So yeah, I'm sure a good chunk of you already know that part. But what about the good stuff? Why do kids go on the internet if there's pedos and creeps and bullies and jump scares? Well, let's talk about why I'm here. I want to express myself, my art, my singing, which isn't very good, and my opinions, and I want to make friends. I think it's safe to say that that's why everybody is here on the internet, to express themselves. But the reason why I think it can be important to get your stuff out there as a kid is, well, it's more impressive if a kid shows you a colored and shaded illustration than it is if an adult shows it to you. The adult has more experience than the kid, so their excellence is to be expected. But when a kid, given the lack of training they have, is actually good at something, then that can come off as a bit of a surprise. Not to mention the fact that many kids, especially around my age, struggle with social anxiety, insecurities, and depression. If they manage to make some good friends online, then they don't have to worry about how they look or sound, because they'll just be typing. And you can meet some really sweet people and do some really cool things online. There's so many lessons to learn, things to explore, and people to befriend. But without dark, there is no light. So you have people like Onision, Cristali, and Nora ruining everybody's fun. So should children be on the internet? Yes and no. I think that if you're a child on the internet, it's important that you have a good Oh my god! Sorry, my cat walked in. Okay, you know how I was talking about the whole scary face jump scare situation earlier? Yeah, I wasn't kidding when I said that that whole thing really scared me. I'm extremely jumpy now because of it, and my cat just walked into my room and opened my door, and I thought it was her, and oh my god. And this is exactly what I mean when it comes to certain things like that. Like, it can really mess somebody up. I know it messed me up a lot, but it's important that you have a good relationship with your parents or a parental figure, so you have enough trust to tell them what's going on when things get scary. You also need to be skeptical and have self-control. Don't fall into the, oh man, this person is so cool, I want to be their friend so bad, I'm going to give them my address trap. I guess the moral of the story is, be careful about what you do online. Always keep an open mind about what could go wrong when you put yourself out there. And please take care of yourself. There are so many despicable, cruel people out there, and the internet just gives them an opportunity to be sick anonymously. You are so important. Don't throw your life away for these people. Whether you've been doxxed or bullied, know that there's somebody out there who loves you and cares about you. I love you, I care about you, and I want the best for you. Unless you're Nora. Nora, you could just hippity-hop out of here. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please share your opinions in the comments below. I'd love to hear about what you think. Stay lovely.